Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. So excited to sit down with Tyler Herman, the athletic director for York High School. How you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm really excited because, I got to cover the York football team throughout the season, doing the play-by-play, and, it's really nice to be able to just kind of sit down and talk about all the sports that I didn't get to see, and, of course, we'll touch on football as well. But one thing that I had heard about is this high five. Explain to me what this high five thing is.
Yeah, so we just started this year. It's called High Five Friday.
All right.
So I actually stole it from Josh Lynn, a former UNK football coach. He's now at West Texas A&M. But the 6 years or so he was at UNK, they would go out to the elementary schools in Kearney every Friday for about a half hour every Friday morning and greet the elementary kids as they walked in the building, give them high fives or fist bumps or whatever. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. Read a couple articles on it, so we started it here. Now, it's not just our football program. It's all of our fall sports and all of our activities that participate. So pretty cool deal. The kids show up about 7:45 in the morning. You got elementary kids rolling in about that time. We greet them out at the front door, the front entrance there, give them high fives, give them fist bumps, tell them good morning. Just a great way for our high school kids, our high school athletes to interact with our younger kids. And I knew the younger kids would really enjoy it, but I was surprised by how much our older kids enjoyed it. I think they enjoy it just as much as the little kids. Heard a lot of positive comments from parents, from teachers at the elementary. We had parents dropping their kids off, and they'd stop and wait for their kid to go through the line, take a little video. So, yeah, pretty cool deal. The kids enjoyed it, like I said, the high school kids as well as the elementary kids. So
very nice. Yeah, and it's super cool that it came from a Nebraska kind of tradition at UNK, and I didn't realize it was all of your fall sports athletes. When I was growing up and going through Holdridge public schools, the high schoolers were like gods, like the football team, the volleyball team, because that's what everyone did. You'd go to the football games, my parents took me to all that sort of stuff. And so I was a true fan, and if any of them ended up at the elementary school, I was like, oh, that's so-and-so. So it's really cool. That's really awesome.
Yeah, and absolutely. And like you said, the high school kids are role models for those younger kids. They go to their ball games. They watch them all the time. And so when they see them there at that front entrance, greeting them on a Friday morning, it's a pretty cool feeling. So
absolutely. And then the student leadership group, does this kind of go hand in hand with High Five Fridays a little bit?
A little bit different. So this group, we actually started this. I was the AD at Gothenburg before I came to York, and I worked with a company called Humanex. And Allie Havers, she's now Allie Malloy, got married. But we worked with Allie. And what we do here at York, the process we use is our head coaches nominate a handful of students from their program to participate. Also, as the AD, I nominate some students that either I think are good leaders or have the potential to be good leaders. The very first thing we did this year is kick it off with the Nebraska Coaches Association Leadership Summit in Kearney about a month ago. We bring about 15 to 20 kids to that. We hear speakers from across the nation talking about leadership, sportsmanship, how to be a good teammate, what does a good student section look like, things of that nature. And then it shifts a little bit here after Christmas with the Humanex group, and we have about 50 kids that are a part of that student leadership group. Like I said, they have to be nominated. We're working with Allie Havers, and Allie's story is pretty cool. She has instant buy-in, instant credibility with the kids because she was a Division I athlete for the Huskers.
Yeah.
3-year starter for the women's basketball team. She actually had a semester left of eligibility when she was done playing basketball, so she joined the Husker women's volleyball team for a semester.
Okay.
Pretty cool to be able, she hadn't played volleyball in 5 years since high school. Joined the Husker volleyball team, got a little bit of playing time here and there, but was a part of a national championship team. So when I tell the kids her story and what her bio is, it's instant credibility, instant buy-in. But then when she gets in there and starts working with her kids, she is a relationship builder. She's a connector. She's engaging. She does a great job of leading this group. So a couple of things we do is we have what's called a Select 7 assessment, where Allie will send like an online link to the kids with 50 questions. And what we're trying to figure out is what are their strengths? What are they really good at? What makes them tick? What makes them a good leader? Because a lot of these things they don't even know. Mm-hmm. So it spits out about 7 different things, 7 different traits that they're really strong in. And then they understand, okay, these are things I can use to help make myself better, make my team better, make my school better. Some other things we do with Allie is some individual training sessions or specific training sessions. For example, the topics might be performing under pressure, commitment, crucial conversations. And the kids it's really engaging, and it's not a sit and get. She makes them get up, and they got to role play a little bit. They got to discuss some different scenarios with their teammates and their peers. So, just another way. I think our coaches do a fantastic job of intentionally teaching those leadership skills that our kids need, but just another way to do that with kind of an outside resource. And like I said, you bring a Division I athlete in that's been there, done that, been in a successful women's basketball program in Nebraska, successful volleyball program, and can share some of those things that made those programs and their culture so successful. I think it's just a win-win for our kids as individuals, their particular programs, and our school as a whole.
And, it's talking about leadership and especially with kids that don't necessarily know how to lead, they only go off of what has been shown to them in the past, right? And so if you bring in someone like an Allie Havers who has this level way up here, right? Rather than just, I saw the seniors do this when I was a freshman. It brings another level to leadership that people don't necessarily think about. So, but that's really, really cool. And I can only imagine the stories that she has being a D1 athlete. I can imagine that there are some very fun stories about hard practices.
Oh, yeah.
Getting through that sort of stuff. I can imagine.
And believe it or not, she was in Michigan is where she grew up. She's from just outside of Kalamazoo. Their softball season, high school softball, is in the spring there, where here it's in the fall. So she was an all-state volleyball player in the fall, all-state basketball in the winter, all-state softball in the spring. So she's a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
And now she's taken all those things that she learned as an athlete, working with some of the best coaches in the nation, and applying that to the things that we're going to do with our programs. So
that's awesome. That's super cool. Alrighty, so we got to talk about the fall sports that have happened. They've come and gone. Pretty successful seasons all around, from what I hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just kind of kick it off with girls golf here. So district runner-up, we got to host districts here again at the York Country Club, which we love. It's a huge advantage for our team. It's a tough course.
It is.
So when we can play on our own course.
As a guy who's really bad at golf, this is a really hard course.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. So our girls love it. Different format this year. Districts for golf used to be based on geography. Mm-hmm. Now it's based on serpentine, your scores throughout the year. So we were runner-up. The next week we were 9th place at the state tournament. Josie Rauer, she was a state medalist for us, tied for 14th, which they medaled the top 15. And this was the first time, according to Coach Miller, first time a sophomore has placed at state since 2002 for the York Duke. So pretty impressive accomplishment there for Josie. Moving on to volleyball. So volleyball, 25-10 overall record. Central Conference runner-up. We beat Lakeview in the semis, and I think the first time since 2014 that we've beaten Lakeview, so it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Knocked them off in the semis, runner-up. Sub-district champions, beating Seward. And then the B9 district champions.
Pretty nice feather in the cap there. Always fun to beat Seward.
Yeah, absolutely. They got us a couple times early in the year, and then we got them in postseason when it mattered most. So, and then that B9 district championship game out of Gering. I tell you what, first time I'd been to Gering for a game, and that is a rowdy, raucous atmosphere. Like they were for a Saturday morning, they were ready.
Nice.
Their fans were ready, and it was a fun atmosphere. Beat them 3 out of 4 sets. Of course, qualified for the state tournament. Kelby Phillips, 30-year head coach for us. First time she qualified, so pretty cool to see the progress that she's made in 3 years, and hopefully we keep that momentum going.
Absolutely.
Cross country, so our girls were our district runner-up and qualified with the entire team for the state. If you're top 3 in districts, the whole team goes. Anna Purdue finished in 4th place at the state meet as a sophomore. She was also a medalist last year as a freshman, finishing in 9th. So 2-time state medalist already. Carter Jacobson on our boys' side, he was a qualifier last year. Just missed 1 spot out of qualifying for state this year. So a lot of good kids back in cross country, so we should be solid again next year. Softball, we were the sub-district champions. First time we won sub-districts in 5 years. So finally got back to that district final. Got to 20 wins. Lauren Maddox broke a lot of school records, home runs, heck of a pitcher. She's committed to Briar Cliff, to play softball at the next level, all conference, all state player. So pretty successful season for softball. Boys tennis, we had John Hartley. He's a senior for us. He was a state medalist with an 8th place finish in number 2 singles. So was able to cap his senior campaign off on the podium in Lincoln, which is pretty cool to see. And then football, 5-5 record. Of course, we started out 5-1.
Yeah.
Ran into some tough teams there towards the end of the year, and that heartbreaker, GI Northwest kicking that 40-some yard field goal and under a minute to go. And Emmett Dirks, he was an outstanding quarterback as a sophomore. Went down with an ankle injury week 2. That really hurt. Troy Smith did a fantastic job filling in, but ultimately 4th year in a row we made the playoffs. If we're healthy throughout the year, I think it's a different story. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes in sports. But we had some younger kids that really did a fantastic job of stepping up and got some valuable game experience for next year.
Yeah, and talking to the head coach about how he felt the year was going, he every single week after each loss, he was like, I'm asking these guys to do everything they can, and they're doing it. They were putting in all the work in practice. They were doing everything they can, and just sometimes injuries get you, and that's what happened towards the end of the season. And I tell you what, it's going to be a tight quarterback room next season with Emmett Dirks coming back. Troy Schmidt will have plenty of playing time, and even the freshman kid that played a little bit towards the end. He's also a baller, so it'll be tight competition come next fall, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Hayden Coffin's the freshman you're referring to. Yep. Yeah. Heck of an athlete. I'm not sure if we'll get him back for basketball. I had an issue with a knuckle there in football. Kind of played through the last game or two with a broken knuckle of some sort. And so we'll see if we can get him back.
Man,
but yeah,
and injuries are tough.
It's good to have that depth as in the quarterback position.
Yeah.
So that's important.
For sure. Absolutely. So the fall season has come and gone, and it's time to look ahead to winter sports, basketball, wrestling. What does it look like for York?
Yeah, so first of all, we just wrapped up our unified bowling season. District runner-up, so had a good, solid season. Maybe didn't perform like we wanted to at districts. We qualified for state quite a bit recently. Did not score high enough at districts to get a wild card, but overall, pretty darn successful season. That's been a outstanding program in recent years. Girls basketball, we're off to a good start here, 3-1. So the girls are under new leadership this year with Matt Fike as our head coach, and we had a tough one last Thursday against Waverly, who's a top 5 team in Class B. Lost by I believe 12 points to them. Wrap up the first kind of month of the season with the Aurora Huskies on Friday. Boys basketball, we're 2-2. Started out 0-2, won the next 2. So we kind of got a 2-game winning streak going on here, and we got once again the Aurora Huskers coming on Friday. Booker Shireman and crew coming into the Duke Dome. So we always know that's going to be a packed house. It's the Friday before Christmas break. A lot of the college kids are back. A lot of alumni is back.
Sure.
And it's the Aurora Huskies. So it's going to be a good crowd. Should be some good ball games. Boys wrestling. So the boys started off on a high note last week at the York Invite, won our own tournament. A very tough tournament, probably the best opening weekend tournament in the state. About 55 ranked kids across classes A, B, and C. So we beat, ranked Waverly. Central City's ranked, Beatrice ranked in Class B. You got Papio South and West Side in Class A. Minden is number 2 or number 3, depending on which rankings you look at in Class C. So good start there. Went down to Clay Center, Kansas. This last Saturday, we're runner-up to a tough Hoxie team. Hoxie, Kansas, they've been a powerhouse in Kansas for years. So runner-up to them. We had, I think, 9 finalists. So overall, pretty good tournament. Girls wrestling. So girls wrestling, a third-year program. Year 1, we had 8 to 9 girls. Year 2, we had 13, and this year we've got 26.
Nice.
So we've doubled the amount of girls that are participating from last year to this year. So we were 4th at our opening weekend tournament at the York Invite. And then last Thursday at the Aurora Invite, they won the team title. First team title in the history of the girls wrestling program. So they got good numbers. We're having some success this year. So it's good to see. Obviously led by a returning state runner-up, Anna Purdue.
Yeah.
We talked about her earlier in cross country. She's got 2 cross country medals.
Heck of an athlete.
Yep. She's got some medals in wrestling. She's got medals in track. So it's just good to see the success that program is having. We did not expect it to grow at that level, but it's pretty cool to see that we started out with 8 a few years ago, and now we're up to 26.
I've heard across the state, girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport in Nebraska. So the fact that it's showing up in York as well, that's awesome.
Yep,
it's
absolutely.
really cool to see.
And then the last winter sport we got here for you, bowling. So boys bowling, off to a good start. Competed at the Boone Central Invite yesterday. We were runner-up as a team. Lost to a tough Wayne team. Wayne is a traditional powerhouse in bowling. Logan Handy, a fantastic bowler, won the individual championship that day for us. He's been one of those kids these last few years that has just kind of been the guy that we, and his brother Skylar graduated, but those guys we look forward, and we look to them to lead us in bowling, and he's continued to do that this year. Girls bowling, Trinity McConnell, having a fantastic year, state qualifier last year. Just narrowly missed a medal here at the Boone Central Invite yesterday. She got a 12th place finish, medal top 10. So Holly Fuhr is our head coach for bowling. Once again, that's a third-year program. She's worked with our bowlers, our youth bowlers in the community for years, and she's really hit the ground running with that program. So she's a fiery coach. She's very passionate about what she does, and yeah, we're very lucky. We talked about all the success in the fall, the success in the winter. We're very lucky at York High School to have the sports and athletics activities that we have. And the final thing I'm going to leave you with here is we just wrapped up on Friday back-to-back state champions for our one-act program.
Oh, yeah,
so,
baby.
You want to talk about a dynasty.
Uh-huh. Trust me, I was in one act when I was in high school, and York was always right there.
Yep, still at the top. So since 2013, Becky Stairs won 8 team titles, like I said, back-to-back, and then 2 runner-ups in that time span. So we've taken trophies home from the state tournament 10 of the last 12 years. So pretty impressive. Charlie Van Gompel, first time it's been done in York history, according to Coach Stair. He was the outstanding actor this year and last year. First time it's been done by the same person back-to-back at York. So, and we had our work cut out for us. We didn't start out the season the way we wanted. Coach Stair, she's a genius. She makes adjustments. She makes some tweaks. We got better and better as the year went on. We had a tough Louisville team in the district competition just to get out of districts. Of course, you got to win your districts, right?
Sure, 100%.
And Louisville might have been the second or third best team in the state, and we had to knock them off at districts, won a district title, and then, of course, won the state title for the second time in a row, 8th time in school history. So now we just got to find a way to build a bigger trophy case or buy a new trophy case. She's out of room. We've been stacking them on top. So yeah, what a finish to their season, and just a lot of perseverance in that group. Just got better and better every week.
That's fantastic. That is really awesome. So it sounds like York athletics and the arts are all headed in a good direction, and this winter season is going to be something pretty exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Tyler Herman, with the athletic director for York High School, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.